Hey guys, thanks for checking in Euclid Mining. If you missed my last video, we did the VGA to HDMI connection, and that was a nail biter. We made it through though, and now we're going to get into something a little more interesting, I think. And today I got the L3 Plus hashboard, came in the mail, so I'm super excited to get this machine up and running. So we'll just go ahead and flip cameras real quick so you can see it here, the L3 Plus. And what we need to do is we're just going to get right into this, y'all. This would connect right into here, so that's how that would look. You just squeeze this little pin and that comes right out. And we'll just kind of tuck that there for now. I've got that disconnected. All we have to do next is that, now in the past when I've worked on these, I've taken the fan off, and then there's a metal plate right here that you have to take off. And I didn't realize it at first, but you could just leave the fan connected to that plate, because it comes off as one piece anyway, so it's not a big deal. So we need 4 screws, 1, 2, and then underneath there's 3 and 4. So we're going to leave the 4 screws on the fan, and we're just going to go ahead and take these off right here. So I'm just going to flip this up and just go ahead and unscrew these really quick. Now when you unscrew these, they are small screws. Screwdriver, the Phillips head that I'm using, in my opinion, is not the best one. It's got a very fine tip on it, and I don't want something with such a fine tip when doing these little screws, because it doesn't grab the screw all together, and it can strip it. And when I was messing with this the other day before I thought to, do the video for it, it was messing with the screws, and I had 3 of them come off. But this last screw really started to get stripped, and I didn't want to keep going and completely strip it. I need to find a different Phillips head, one that doesn't have that sharp tip on it. It's a little more dull, so more of this can go into the actual screw and grab more of it. The way it is now, it's with the fine tip holding it out. It's not grabbing as much as it should. So. Now I did buy a little set of flathead and Phillips head. You probably have seen these anywhere at the hardware store. I use those a lot, but even those weren't working that well, so I stopped there. And I was thinking, well, how am I going to get that thing off of there? And to be honest, I don't have an answer. I need to go down to the garage and find a better Phillips head to use on this. I have a couple different ones down there, and I'll try it, and I will get that off. It's just finding the right size. For the video though, that works also. This is just kind of swinging on that one screw. It's not the end of the world, so we're not going to worry about it. This is the bad board, and to take an L3 Plus board out, all you do is unplug that one ribbon and slide it out carefully. Now this one isn't working properly, so now sometimes the whole board will work. Sometimes it'll stop at like number 23. Sometimes it goes down to 30 or so further in, but it definitely has some sort of issue. So I'm going to need to check that out. I've been wanting to work on one of these. I've been wanting to pull one of these apart and actually try to fix it. And I've been afraid because with the T17 having problems, or that S17, I didn't want to completely destroy it if it was repairable by a professional. But because I'm going to have this one replaced, and I think I might go ahead and take the chance and get this getting working on and see if I can repair this. So I'm just going to put this down here, and as you can see, I've got the which you can see them both, but I've got 2 boards. So I'm going to go ahead and put that here and take the new board and go ahead and install it. Now, if you're putting a new hash board in, I want to tell you something. You're going to want to go ahead and look for the version number. So on the back of these, as you can see right here, it has it labeled, and on the sticker here. And you want to make sure you have the correct version that matches the other boards. Now, if you don't, there is a fix for that, but if you can, it's better to obviously have the same ones. So I will get into that in a second. As you can see inside of here, you can see this little tiny slit. It runs the length of the box, just an aluminum box, and you can't see it, but now you can kind of see it right there. There's another little groove, and it runs the length of the top of this. So this board just simply goes into that groove here on the bottom, and then you slide that forward, and you catch it in this groove, and then it just goes straight in, and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that back up, and it looks like we have a L3 Plus. All we do is just go ahead and plug this in. Now, you're going to want to really get that snapped in. So when you get that in there real nice, and you're going to want to put your 4 screws back on, and then we're going to go ahead and take this down to Crazy Town and plug it in and see if we can get this working. Now, I did say that if you did have the wrong version board, there is a device you can hook up. I also believe there's a software package you can get on the computer. Now, I haven't tried on any of these, trying to maybe swap out boards in between 2 different ASICs and trying to do this experiment. Once I start getting into this more, I might get into that side of it, but it's a whole nother program to learn and a whole nother world to get into when I'm still getting my foothold in this one, and not in the repair side so much. So but there are testers, there's all kinds of things you can get to test these boards. You can get the there's a little box that you can get. It'll plug in to I believe it must plug into the control board, and what you do is you just have to sync the different boards so that they're all on the same version. Probably talking about it wrong, but it's not a, I don't know if it's the BIOS. It's I'll have to look into it more. I was doing some reading on it, and just looking into this stuff, and whatever it's called, but you can flash it so that all the boards then will appear to be the same, even if they're not the same. So I wouldn't recommend using different boards or mix and matching. Obviously, try to keep them all uniform. But then again, I don't know. I don't know if all of these machines that I have mixed and matched boards, or if they are all uniform. I guess the way that I read online, it didn't really matter in the end. But from a hardware, stance, I would say try to keep everything the same. I might try to do that. I might look at one of the other ones, and I may pull a board out of each and swap it and see if it turns on and how it works, but I'm really not sure 100%. So from what I've read, it won't hurt the machine. That board just won't work, or the entire miner won't work because it's not being able to recognize on that board. So I may try that just for fun and see what it does, and obviously we'll all learn a little something from that experiment. And then maybe trying to get that software and flash one of the machines and see if we can get all 4 boards working that may have 3 the same and 1 with a different version, and see if we can get that to work. And that would be actually pretty cool. But for tonight, this one's a short video because there really isn't much to do. We're just replacing that board. There's really nothing else to do. You don't have to take off this side of the fan and open it up at all, because this side of the board is where the power is, so that's where it'll slide out from. So you only need to open up one side and you're pretty much done. I will see about that screw. I'll probably just get it and loosen it and then just kind of hand tighten it up a little bit. It is pretty snug. So but all we're going to do is we're just going to flip this back up, and we're going to drop some screws back in here, and that's really it. And then we're going to head downstairs and we will try it with the other ones. Now, as you saw with the video the other day, we do have the new switch, so we're going to bring that downstairs with us. Man, we're going to knock like 3 birds with 1 stone here, right? We're going to get a bunch of stuff done tonight. We're going to go ahead and hook this thing up so that we can hook up this one, because right now we've got 4 running and a 5-port switch. And like I said, with that, You can't have, one of them has to be the internet, so that's your fifth one, and the other four could be whatever you want to plug into them. So this one that I got is an 8-port, which will cover exactly the amount that I will need down there because I have 7 total machines. I'm still waiting on the guy to come to install the vents on the side of the house. We're going to have a vent put in so I can start exhausting these out the side of the house and make that garage a lot cooler as far as the heat just pouring out into there. As a matter of fact, even if I get these all hooked up, I can't turn them on because as of right now, the heat buildup in the garage is pushing these ASICs to around 66, 67 degrees on the boards, and you don't want to get above 70. Now the chips is a different number. But you don't want to go you don't want to go above 80 on the board. And right now it's running like 68. And I don't like it to run that hot. I just don't like to run them that hot. And with the amount that I have going right now, it's enough heat in there. So once I get that exhaust set up, I'll feel more comfortable with doing this and letting all of them run all the time. And all of that heat will be being exhausted out. That'll be great. So anyway, I'm going to button this thing up and I will see you in Crazy Town. All right, guys, so we're downstairs in Crazy Town and I'm going to be putting that L3 Plus right there on the shelf. I already got the power supply set and ready to go. I've got my new switch right here and I'm going to go ahead and swap that all over really quick because I'm going to get all sorts of alerts from my pooling accounts saying that they've lost connection. So I'm going to go ahead and just swap that out real quick and I'll be back in 1 second. All right, so I got everything hooked up. It's actually kind of quiet in here considering that I have the garage door open and it's bringing a lot of cool air in and everything is really calmed down with the fans. It's funny because they're actually blowing, well, that's still a little warm on that T17. With these L3 Pluses, they're actually blowing cool air out of them right now. So that's awesome. I've got the new switch hooked up, as you can see. Super cool. I've got the old one. Where did I put it? Over here. Right here. So we're going to bring that upstairs and leave that up there as a backup in case we have any problems. You know, I've been trying to get some extra wires and stuff around, so in case I have a problem, I can use it. You know, we got the cooler still going over here. And everything's running great. Now, what we're going to talk about today, and we're going to finish it off upstairs for another video, but we're going to get into that TP-Link. Okay, so so the garage light turned off because I guess I haven't moved around enough. All right, I'm back. It's nighttime, and I'm just doing this at night, trying to get some of these little things done. So. All right, that one's powering up, so you can hear the fans just kicking in, so that's why that's running a little loud. But otherwise, let's go upstairs and check that on the hash and on Poolin and see if we're connected. All right, I'll meet you upstairs. All right, guys, we're back upstairs, and I'm just going to jump right into this. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the screen. I'm going to flip you guys over, and this is what I have. So, you know, my Hive OS, you've seen on my other videos. That's my ETH on 2 miners. That's my Raven on 2 miners. My Poolin account. So I've got the one L3++, and that one's in the cooler. L3++2 is the one with the burnt out connection on it, and I'm going to get that fixed, and that should be running smooth. I already got a new power supply for it. L3+1, L3+2, and L3+3. Now L3+3 is the one that we just looked at, but we will click on that and take a peek. Now I did stop and grab a drink downstairs on the way up, and this was having a chance to auto-tune, so it's come up. As you can see here, chain 4 was the one that we had trouble with. Chain 4 is fully functioning with 72 chips. Frequency is good. Running strong. Looks great, actually. Temperature is fantastic. So the PCB is the printed circuit board, and I'm going to show you that one over here. So you have 2 different temperatures on inside of your ASIC. One is the PCB right here, and the other one is the chip temperature, which is underneath the heatsink. So these are the heat sinks, and then underneath them is the chip. All right, so that's what this is right here, chip. That's the chips underneath here. Now, they can get up pretty high. So 80 Celsius is as high as you ever want to get with these, because you will start to get to a point where the printed circuit board will crack or melt or light on fire, for that matter, if you have bad enough luck, and maybe burn your house down. So, you know, when it gets into the 60s and close to 70, I start having to make some changes. I go ahead and I'll turn one machine off, you know, when it was in the dog days of summer. I'll turn one of the L3 Pluses off now to reduce some of the heat blowing in the garage. Now, I am putting a vent up on the side of the house. They are going to put a hole and put a vent there. And once I have that put in, I will run the duct hose all the way up and vent all of these out. I will even consider putting them all in coolers. I believe I am going to put them all in a cooler. I already have the coolers. I'm going to put them all in the coolers. I'm going to have all of them vented. The room will be quiet. The room will be cool. And it'll be like they're not even there. So once I have that, I can have all the machines hooked up that I want, because all that heat will be being vented out. So I'm super excited about that and getting that done. Guy's supposed to be coming last week, trying to reschedule it and get him in this week. I'm working on it. Once I get that vent, everything can be hooked up. As of now, I'm not even sure if I should have this one running, because before, when I only had enough room for 4 internet connections, I only had 4 running, and it was okay. Temperatures got a little warm during the day, but was tolerable as far as the machines were running. Now I have that other L3 Plus hooked up. So now I've got the L3 Plus Plus. So I've got that one. I've got the L3 Plus, that one, that one, that one, and the T17. So now I've got 5 machines running. With that added extra heat, I'm not sure what to expect, if it'll be too hot. During the day, it's been warming up a little bit still during the day here. It's still cold in North Carolina. It's going to drop down. They said there's frost warnings tonight. It's the first frost warning of the season. So it's going to get chilly. But with those cool temperatures at night, those machines run amazing. But during the day, it gets a little warm, and I don't like that. So another test we're going to try with this, if you're still watching this video, is on this one I have Hive installed. It's easier to overclock. I think it does a better job of running the miner, in my opinion. But what I want to do is I want to run this, and I want to run the Antminer stocks software. And there's another one out there that doesn't charge a dev fee, and I can't think of it right now. Man, for the life of me. I'm trying to remember it, but there's another one out there I was going to download. I might have downloaded it already, or I will download it, but I want to try 3 different firmwares. I want to mine to on Poolin for one. I want to use Hive OS for another one. And I might just try another third random, whatever one of the Litecoin pools, one of the top ones are. But I'll pick a third one, and I'll mine to that, and I'll see which one, with the dev fee taking money out, plus the pool fees or any other fees they charge. And I'm going to see which one's making me the most money over maybe a week's period. So that'll be an experiment I can do, off camera, and just sort of set them up and get them running. Maybe I'll do a video setting them up and showing you how I set them up on Hive OS and add that to your pool, or set up another sub account. Somebody actually asked me in a comment, how do you set up a sub account in Poolin? So maybe we'll do it in that video as well. But I'd like to show you a couple different options. I like the Hive OS, but it's a preference. So as you can see, I'm running 56 here. And let's start right at the top here. So this is the L3++, and I'm running 626, and I'm running 62 degrees. All right, that's very nice for that board. You know, 67, 68 is even acceptable. When it gets to 70, I start considering doing something, even though that's still well below tolerance. I don't want to stress these boards out. You know, they're old enough as it is. So L3 plus number 2 is being fixed. L3 plus 1, 654. And I do have that one in the L3++. I have that one. That one's in the cooler. And I do have that one set a little lower in the overclocking settings because that one does run a little warmer because it is an older unit, or it's seen more work than some of these other ones I have that have been refurbished, cleaned, and they look real, almost brand new, I'll be honest. But as you can see, at 58 degrees, that's like a vacation. And 654 it's running at. So this is the one on the Antminer stock, 853, almost 653, almost 654. And it's running at 56 also, another amazing temperature. And this is the one that is that the one? Yeah, that's the one we just did. That was the miner, and then this is number 2. So yeah, they're all running really strong. The temperatures are fantastic. You know, I'm happy with these machines. They're making anywhere from like $160 to $200 a month, depending on how prices are going. You know, with Dogecoin, I mean, Dogecoin was like at 27 or 28 cents. Did it hit 29 cents the other day? I mean, or earlier? I mean, like, you know, as long as it stays around 20 cents, 15 cents, these machines are worth having plugged in. You know, it's a solid $100 bill a month, you know, profit. But when it hits 30 cents or 29 cents, these machines are making some decent money for being, what, 5-year-old machines? It's amazing. So anyway, y'all, that's it. That's the board. That's what we're doing. I'm going to flip over here really quick to show you one more thing, and then I must promise I'm going to let you go. I went ahead and I ordered the new connections for the L3++. Now, I did order them off of AliExpress, and all it is just a little connector, you know. It's pretty straightforward. It looks like one that you may find on your GPU. It's the one that's on this board. As you can see it right there. And then it's got the soldering pins on the back. It's covered by the sticker, but you can see it right there. So the board downstairs needs to have both of those replaced. And I ordered some. They only sold 10 was the minimum order. I must have clicked some other button because there's 30 in this pack. And I think there's another 30 in this pack or 40 in this pack, plus the 10. So I think I got about 80 of these. If anybody is truly trying to work on these boards as a hobby and it's not your profession, please, if it's your profession, you buy your own supplies. But if somebody like me is out there and they're going to try to repair a board themselves, and you need a couple of these because they may be hard to find, or they're selling for like ridiculous price on eBay. That's why I didn't buy them on eBay. Somebody was selling like 4 for like $10 or something like that. And I was like, what? When I saw it on AliExpress, it was like this 10 pack was like $1 or something like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to order the pack because I was still waiting on that L3++ control board to come from China. And I figured, why not? So look, if you really need 2 of these because you're repairing a board that has 2, you know, I'll throw a stamp on it and send it to you. You don't have to give me any money. It's my pleasure to help somebody else that's working on this stuff. I also bought extra wires because I'm going to be replacing some of the wires, some of the ribbons that connect the control board to the hash board. That was the one that we did here, where we clipped that little one off. And I bought a bunch because both L3++ have some really old wires. Also, I bought extra ones on this different one here because I wanted to do the Z9. That one also has some very old wires and very dirty. So I wanted to clean that one up a little bit, and I thought that if there was any connection loss because of cruddy wires, at least I could take that out of the equation and know more if it's the board, it's the control board, is it the actual hash board, and really narrow it down if I ever have problems with that. So I bought some more of those, and I got a whole bunch of them, and I'm going to be doing that little project. But overall, y'all, the next big one for the ASIC I'm going to do is on 3 different pools with 3 different mining softwares. And I know that's not the best idea. I should do 3 different mining softwares on one specific pool. But I'm going to try a couple different ones. As long as the hash rate is the same on all of them, I will feel comfortable enough doing that. If somebody wants me to try a specific one or something in particular that you want to see what it's doing, I'll be happy to throw one of these on that instead. But, you know, that's pretty much it. I think this video is long enough, and I hope you've learned something about hash boards and all this, you know, all this stuff. So anyway, I always appreciate you looking at me from time to time. I appreciate you watching. Give me a couple thumbs up. Let me know if I'm doing the right thing. And leave some comments below if you've tried to fix these. Or like I said, you know, if you really need any of these connectors, just shoot me a line. I will give you my email address. You can send me your address. Don't put it in the comment section. I don't want anybody knowing where you live. But if you want to email me directly, I will send you a couple of them. I'll send you 2 because each board takes 2. So if you're doing one board, I'll send you 2. Like I said, I'm not going to supply some professional that does this for a living. But if I can help somebody out, I'm happy to do it. Anyway, appreciate you checking in, and I'll see you all next time. Good night.